Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the stream. I'm going to be your host, The Sound, and tonight I am excited to bring a Division A matchup. We are going to be seeing Braincellmates go off against Start Slow, then Taper Off. This is a best-of-3 series. Braincellmates are a new team this season, but they are not new to NGS. The core of the roster is formed around former Heavy Slaps members. They were also on a team last season, 30 to 50 Feral Hoggers. Start Slow, then Taper Off. Also just promoted. They are excited to face off here, so they've seen each other before. Let's take a look at the maps here to see where we're going for game number 1. Braincellmates won the coin toss, opted for first pick, and Start Slow, then Taper Off decided to take us to Infernal Shrines for game 1. And we are going to be jumping in a draft here momentarily to get everything started. A little bit of background on these teams. We have some pretty heavy Vala priority from Braincellmates historically. Protoss Rule has shown quite a bit of prowess on the hero. So we might see that early picked here. It's not as important a pick for Start Slow, so I don't know how much it's going to be contested there. They may instead look to ban that pick. And there is also some amount of role swapping on the side of Braincellmates. Last season, I know Akari was playing the healer role, whereas this season, I believe they've been playing offlane. So I'm not entirely sure if all of my scouting data from last season is going to be as relevant, but it is always exciting to see our players kind of flex into new roles and keep the existing synergies of their teams together. That sort of flexibility is admirable, and something that I, as a player, do not necessarily have. Speaking about our bans, we've got Blaze and Johanna from Braincellmates, both strong heroes in the meta, both strong heroes on Infernal Shrines. Not surprising to see them taken away. Junkrat, another good hero for the map, his ability to seal away shrine monsters from a safe distance is not something many teams want to deal with there. It's a pick that Jaeger has played in previous seasons when they were a DPS player, but I'm not sure that that's what they're doing this time around. So the Vala is available. It's going to be Hogger first pick for Akari. Not surprising. Hogger is kind of the prime hero for the map. And an immediate answer with Brightwing and Vala. So picking the Vala away there. Start Slow has done their homework. And they also show a great deal of Brightwing priority. It's one of their top picked early choice heroes when it's available to them. Next two picks here for Braincellmates. They could double down on the shrine. Looks like we've got Sylvanas and a Nubarak. Alright, Sylvanas, a great hero for the map, given her ability to amplify the Punisher pushes thanks to her Black Arrows trait. Still missing a healer for Braincellmates, so I expect to see Start Slow look to narrow that pool. I'm thinking perhaps a Deckard. a Rhaegar, perhaps. Some CC Stukov instead. Okay. Stukov does bring the CC. There are still cleanse supports available to Braincellmates, so they may opt for one of those. And neither of the frontliners for Start Slow have been selected here. We'll see if Braincellmates prefer to ban the tank or off-lane positions, or perhaps there is a damage dealer that they definitely do not want to see on the side of Start Slow. The Haka. Alright, so further narrowing the off-lane pool there. Next 2 picks for Start Slow. We could see... There's the off-lane for your 0 Day. Picking up Yrel, a specialty hero. And Jaina for OP. Okay. Great, so a lot of burst damage now. There's the Rhaegar selection. Bringing some cleanse for the Reign of Vengeance and Polymorph and Jaina slows. Final pick here, one more flex pick. We could see Li Ming, not the best for the map, but a specialty of Jaegers. It's going to be Chromie instead. Great. And final pick now, the tank for Start Slow. They could go for a double support here. It would be a little funky to see an Uther main tank, I think. But with Joe and Diablo off the table, there aren't as many priority tanks available to Start Slow any further. It's going to be the ETC. All right. The cow. Fearing no burst damage. Let's take a look at these drafts as we get into our first game. For Shrine fights, Braincellmates having secured the Hogger is quite the coup. Not a hero that I typically expect to make it through draft there. Perhaps Start Slow weren't sure if Braincellmates played it. But between the time traps from Chromie and the spins from Hogger, they're going to have a lot of control of the Shrine. On the other side, Vala does offer a lot of click damage, which Hogger and Anubarak both don't care for. So it is a pretty even matchup. Far from decided. We'll have to see how these two teams fare against each other as we get into Game 1. And introducing our teams here on the left in blue, we've got our home team, Braincellmates. Protoss Rule on Sylvanas, Rift on Anubarak, Lane Hurries on Rhaegar, Jaeger on Chromie, and Akari playing Hogger. And to the right in red, we've got Start Slow and Taper off. 0 Day Attack on Yrel, Arlu on Vala, Opie on Jaina, Fenrir on Brightwing, and Xenochrist on ETC. We've got Start Slow splitting up here, trying to find if Braincellmates are going to go for a early Sylvanas cheese. Checking in on our level 1 talents, we do have Creed of the Hunter for Vala. The Gambit stacks at level 1. We've also got Fingers of Frost for Jaina and Prog Rock for ETC, so they're looking to collect globes as quickly as possible. Opie caught here. The phase shift is in time, but it's not going to be enough healing. Jaina goes down first blood, going over to Braincellmates. A great rotation from our blue team. Slide now onto the Rhaegar, but we've got plenty of backup. Xenochrist falling exceptionally low, and that's going to do it for the cow. 2 quick kills going over to Braincellmates. That's going to allow them to get over onto the bottom neutral Khazra camp and steal that away. Checking in on top lane, we've got Yrel clearing that out with Start Slow starting their own Khazra camp here. A slight XP lead going over to Braincellmates here thanks to those hero kills, keeping it very competitive with the minion experience. So it's not going to net too much of an advantage in the early going. Mid camps traded there, and a slight rotational advantage for Braincellmates. They're going to get clear on the bottom wave as well as these Khazra in mid. Level 4 is secure on both sides. OP going for Arcane Intellect at level 4, double mana talents, and double spell power. So interesting to see that pick up there. See if there's anything else of note. Level 5, of course, is important to note for Chromie. With her trait, she has access to her third talent already, has opted for a proper greeting. And we can see in the top left... Oh, I'm sorry. Hogger died, and I missed it. We will have a slight macro advantage going over to Braincellmates as they capture this camp. The invade, though, it's gonna net them a camp. Rift will send out a stun, but it's not going to be in time to prevent Start Slow from stealing away that camp. Able to secure that invade thanks to the early Hogger kill there. Now, we've got Brightwing in bot lane soaking away, and it's going to be a collapse of 3 onto the Fairy Dragon. The cleanse came out, but it wasn't in time, and this 4-hero commitment is going to be a pretty serious push for Braincellmates. Top objective is a Frozen Punisher, so it is likely to get a lot done itself, but getting the bottom fort with just Sylvanas, Black Arrows, and Anubrak Beetles is quite the coup for Braincellmates. We'll see if Start Slow are going to stick around here on this fort. We've got Braincellmates collapsing now, but it looks like Arlu and Xenochrist are going to make it out without too much trouble. With that fort front wall down, it will be easier for Start Slow to secure this fort in general. We'll see if Start Slow is able to follow up an excellent bait from Rift. Will get the unstoppable frames, saving him from any of that Punisher damage. So it is going to be a fort trade in the early going of it. Bot for top. We've got Akari soaking really deep here in bot lane. Of course, they're allowed to do that on Hogger. They have a lot of tools for escaping. And Start Slow, happy to get the fort and transition down to the mid lane. They want to get as much damage on this mid front wall as they can, getting another tower, giving them a little bit more XP. Level 7s are online for both teams, and a lot of damage going on to Arlu here. They're gunning for that first Gambit stack, but they will make it out alive. Checking in on our other stacking talents, we've got 4 stacks for, once again for the first time on Chromie, 17 globes for Jaina already. So they're off to a great start here. Once they get all 20, they will unlock a spell power boost as well as a mana regen bump. Another neutral mercenary going over to Braincellmates. They are a little bit ahead on the race to 10. Their heroics will be online just a hair sooner. Xenochrist scattered in the bush, but they're able to make it out without much trouble. Level 10's now online. We've got Wailing Arrow, Cocoon, Ancestral Healing, Loop. Oh my gosh. Silence Arrow and Cocoon going on to the Urel here. 10's still a far way off, but nothing's going to come of it. We've also got Shockwave for Hogger. That's level 10s on both sides here. We've got Ardent Defender, Rain of Vengeance, Water Elemental, Emerald Wind, a classic Fenrir pick, and Mosh Pit, of course. This is 4v4. Zero Day taking so much damage. There's the loop from Chromie. Has to pop the Ardent Defender. Xenochrist falling low here. Without Jaina alongside them, Start Slow do not have a lot of kill threat. They just don't have much burst damage from the Vala alone. So a great cooldown trade for Braincellmates there, being able to get Ardent Defender. It's a 2-minute cooldown. It's a long one that is unlikely to be available for next objective. We've got Start Slow in range. We'll see if they're looking for another invade opportunity. It is an aggressive play. Zero Day I don't think has been scouted here, but there's the Burrow Charge in onto the Urel. They've got more move speed than they know what to do with, and our next objective is spawning in bot lane. This, of course, is giving Start Slow the opportunity to get some free push on mid fort, secure that next tower. Ooh, just barely not getting it. And they'll be able to get their top camp out as well. That puts top lane in favor of Start Slow, but of course it means Braincellmates will get the first opportunity onto this shrine. And they also have a distinct advantage as there is no fort and therefore no well available to Start Slow. They've got that advantage going for them, and it's a 5-hero commitment, both sides. Urel in the cocoon here, Arlu eating the stun. OP going on a flank here, getting onto Jaeger, but Jaeger gets the loop onto them. A lot of damage going onto Protoss Rule and Akari here, but the Ancestral is good, and no one was able to prevent the Hogger from spinning. So it's a objective going over to the home team. Braincellmates also got lucky on the top side of the map. Their wave and camp beat out Start Slow's in spite of the fact that Start Slow had catapults on their side. Level 13's just around the corner for the home team. Punisher goes over onto Xenochrist. They do a good job getting it into the range of the keep. Of course, Black Arrows will prevent the keep from contributing too much to the defense here. Another stun onto the ETC, and the keep down to about half now. We don't have Black Arrows for Sylvanas any longer, so it's unlikely that they're going to be able to secure this, and they opt instead to back up. We'll see with Hogger in mid lane if our blue team wants to get onto this neutral camp again. Looks like they do. Checking in on the experience, we can see the Merc experience still in favor of Start Slow, despite Braincellmates having gotten that neutral camp a number of different times. We'll see. They know Hogger is top. Start Slow will run at Braincellmates, but not before that camp is secured. Next objective will spawn in top lane. That is a boon for Start Slow, giving them the pre-tap advantage. Stuns in onto Xenochrist, but they're able to get out without too much trouble. Zero Day having to deal with the wave pressure down in bot lane here. Level 14 unlocks Chromie's next talent tier. And Braincellmates with all 5 heroes are going to siege up here on mid lane, try and get as much structure damage and experience as they can while they see Urel on the map. Arlu has scouted Rift here, but oh my gosh, a narrow miss here. ETC gets every single heroic thrown at them. They go down. Protoss Rule goes down next. Rift is low. That's the kill onto the Rhaegar. OP is chasing the Hogger down, turning around onto Rift here. So it's 2 for 1 in favor of Start Slow. The ETC went down as he often does. ETC is not the most sturdy of tanks in the roster. Zero Day attack gets the slow onto Jaeger here. Arlu vaults in. They're looking for more. See if a Rain of Vengeance is unavailable to them. Oh, a excellent route onto Akari there with the Hungering Arrow to follow. Zero-day attack is out for blood, but they're going to have to back up after they draw the fort aggro there. 16s on both sides. Big power spike for a number of different heroes. Manticore for Arlu is going to put a lot more pressure onto the Hogger. And it's Jaeger who's in trouble now. Absolutely nuked. The armor reduction from Zero Day. A great Emerald Wind peels the Rhaegar off, and they're going to go down here. Yrel pops the Ardent Defender here in mid, and will escape thanks to that move speed. So that's going to be another 2 kills going over to start Slow and taper off. They will secure mid fort with that win. They're also going to step up to the enemy Shaman camp, and of course Braincellmates don't want to be idle while down these 2 heroes. Protoss Rule and Rift both setting up with the Beetles and Black Arrows. They're going to be able to shut this down and finish off bottom keep. Not a bad trade for them. Rift bird charging into onto Fenrir there, but nothing's going to come of it. We'll see how Braincellmates look to play the rest of the map while Start Slow finish off this top objective. We can see Rift and Protoss getting onto this mid camp as well. Fenrir is going to have to deal with bot lane for a little bit longer, which they are free to do. They are a global. And it's going to be a double camp in mid lane. So mid fort will be under threat now. No sidewall or gate down for Start Slow. Hogger eats a second stun, an unlucky position for Hogger to eat that Punisher's Stun. ETC able to just narrowly get the tip of that hurt box. So that is a lot of defense. Will of Forsaken popped. Opie falling very low, draws the keep aggro. An excellent time stop, or ice block, excuse me, will get them to safety. Anubarak going down in the meantime. This could be a push to the end. All of the damage for Start Slow is still available. That's a lot of D-push available to them. Yrel pops the ultimate. Protoss Rule able to get out with a nice cleanse. No more Ancestral available. Arlu is starting to take keep aggro now. This is getting a little hairy. Shield's almost down, but Start Slow are going to call it quits with Hogger spawning here. A full level lead for Start Slow, and mid-fort goes down to the mercenary pressure, the double camp there. Zero-day attack doing a little bit of a risky back there. They won't be punished. They're able to run out without too much trouble. And next objective is in mid, so this double camp push has set Braincellmates up for a equal position as far as healing well availability is concerned. And of course, with Start Slow showing on the bot side of the map, it's the green light for Braincellmates to get on the top fort. So none of the outer structures for Start Slow are left alive. Protoss Rule and Rift getting on to this Shaman camp as well. Looks like Start Slow were a little worried that there might be a attempt to backdoor through bot lane, so they are completely absent from this camp. Storm talents available for Start Slow. Seraphim for Zero Day. Big power spike, able to go unstoppable every 8 seconds. Farflight Quiver for Vala, another big power spike, especially when paired with Manticore at 16. Her range now exceeds that of Keeps. We've also got Wintermute and Intensive Winds for Brightwing and Jaina, respectively. Braincellmates still looking for 20s here. Start Slow would love to find them in a rotation, but they also have bot lane to tend to. So they're not going to be able to capitalize on this early Storm talent tier, it looks like. Of course, we do have Braincellmates showing in top lane, so that's going to give Start Slow the opportunity to get onto this mid camp. So there will be a double mid camp for Start Slow this time round. Storm Talents on Braincellmate's side. We've got Rewind for Anubarak, Farseer's Blessing for the Rhaegar, Anger Management for Hogger, and Bolt of the Storm for Protoss Rule. Hogger has started their spin. They're very low on rage, however. There's the mosh pit immediately interrupted. Xenochrist is caught here, but the whole time Vala's been clicking away on Akari there. They go down. Big silence lands onto 2. A great jump, but Protoss Rule is able to blink out. Rift falling low here. 0-day attack is on the chase. They do still have their heroic available, as well as their unstoppable. Of course, Arlu is able to chase them down, gets the last couple of autos they need, and they're happy just to set up here with this camp, get a little bit of push done. Lots of heroics flying on both sides, but it was the auto attack pressure from Vala that we highlighted at the end of the draft there that really came in clutch. Manticore, such a big power spike for Vala, especially when paired with Farflight Quiver. Checking in on bot lane, there are 3 catapults mounting, so 0-day will have to deal with those on the Yrel. I would love to see Fenrir actually with the global fall back and deal with that, but I guess for fear of a backdoor, they've got their Yrel back there instead. Stun in, followed up by a Polymorph and a Root. Lots of damage going onto the Anubarak here. Frozen Punisher is wailing away. This keep is not going to stick around much longer. A stun onto 2 here, followed up by the Polymorph. Lots of damage onto the Hogger. Xenochrist falling exceptionally low. They are able to escape, and 0-day attack is here from the flank, looking for the Rhaegar here. Pop the Unstoppable. They don't have their heroic anymore, but it's still 2 kills going on, 3 now in favor of Start Slow. The Punisher has been defeated, but that is 4 kills. A blink out from Protoss Rule will save the KDA, but it is unlikely to save the game. So that is going to do it for Game 1. GG and well played to both of our teams there. Excellent, excellent. There you have it. Level 20 Vala is a very strong hero. Nilius mentioning it. I agree. Level 20 Vala, kind of a win condition unto herself. An absolute momentum shift, heavily in favor of Start Slow once that power spike scaled up. And I think the Vala comp is always going to scale well. Let's check in on our stats and our builds. Checking in on the stats. Sylvanas, top of Braincellmates, but pales in comparison to what Arlu was able to put out on the Vala. Once again, that is largely thanks to that auto attack build, doing so much damage. And some great CC set up by Xenochrist. It was not an easy ETC game by any stretch of the imagination. There was plenty of CC and kill threat onto our favorite cow of the Nexus. So Xenochrist playing that very well, very cautiously. Some clutch healer plays on both sides, but in the end it was the overwhelming damage and kill pressure of the Jaina Vala that kind of won the day there. Well played to both of our teams. We can get into our next map here. Pardon that quick. Oh, where'd that go? Sorry, friends. Let me find that map list for you. There it is. And it looks like we are going to be, okay, headed to Alterac Pass for game number 2 as chosen by Start Slow once again. So thinking about the drafts that we saw last game, it is definitely another great Hogger map. So we'll see if Start Slow prioritize a ban there to get Akari off that hero. On the other side, Vala is going to scale very well on Alterac, and it is a map that frequently goes late, so that would be another good pick. Of course, if Rift is able... Actually, thinking about it now, Braincellmates' entire draft for Game 1 would work really well here on Alterac. The Sylvanas able to split push during the early phases of the game when the objective is easy to interrupt. The Anubarak able to cheese the objective. I'll be interested to see if Start Slow adjust their draft picks, or their bans, I should say, to kind of address those heroes on this next battleground. And there were a couple times that we saw a solid Emerald Wind play coming out. Here we go. All right. First ban here. We'll see if the Vala draws a ban now. Of course, last time they went for the Johanna and Blaze first 2 bans. So I'll be interested. They're sticking with the Blaze. Okay. Blaze, another good hero for the map. They're able to stall objectives well, capture the all-important mid-camp. But I'll be interested to see if Start Slow changes these bans here, or if they stick with the Junkrat priority. Of course, Junkrat, another good hero to ban on Alterac. There are lots of choices, and it seems as though Braincellmates' hero pools do favor this battleground selection. They are going to stick with that first Junkrat ban. Very good, very good. If I'm on the side of Braincellmates, I think I would prioritize the Vala ban here over the Johanna. This isn't necessarily one of Johanna's most important maps. The Hogger ban instead. Alright, so really targeting that off-lane role, trying to narrow the options there. We're likely to see them select off-lane in their first rotation here. Second ban now for Start Slow. Johanna is available, Brightwing is available. Alright, Johanna is the ban. Excellent. First pick for Braincellmates. With 2 offlane bans, I would love to see them pick offlane first, but there are lots of high priority heroes, such as the Vala. As mentioned, Protoss Rule is a avid Vala pilot, able to do a lot with that hero. There's the Anub on the other side. We'll see if there is as much priority onto... Alright, it's Orphea instead. Brightwing's still available. Global is never unwelcome on a map the size of Alterac. Deathwing, okay. Not something I am accustomed to seeing, so that is an exciting one. An off-lane Deathwing pick. Love it. And they are going to snatch up the Brightwing. Great. So no tank yet secure for Braincellmates. I expect to see start slow, target ban there. Not sure if Braincellmates play Stitches, but Stitches can be pretty obnoxious on this map. Of course, Diablo is also a strong hero in general and available, so they could look to isolate that, and it is going to be the Diablo ban. I would expect another offlane ban here, narrowing the pool all the further, kind of tripling down on that strategy. Of course, they could instead opt to ban a healer here. With a little bit of familiarity of Start Slow's preferences, I'd expect a Stukov out of them. Ah, the Zul Jin ban instead. Alright. So, offlane and healer still required, as well as a flex pick. We saw OP on the Jaina last game. There's the Stukov and Falstad. Alright, so globals on both sides, Falstad offering a lot of boss control. Of course, Fenrir last game showed us that if you pick Brightwing, that also can give you boss control. Muradin and Chromie now. Chromie's great for stalling out the objective. Muradin is a sturdy frontline presence. Hard to go wrong with that hero. Last pick here for Zero Day. We might just see another Yrel game. It's going to be Thrall instead. Interesting, interesting. Very cool. So, some non-standard offlane picks on both sides. We've got the Thrall on the side of Start Slow and the Brightwing on the side of Braincellmates. Of course, Thrall does bring a lot of percent damage at 7 and 16, and level 1. So that will be a pretty good answer to the meaty health bars of Deathwing and Muradin. A pretty heavy range advantage on the side of Braincellmates, however. Falstad and Orphea both pretty close range, whereas Chromie and Vala have a couple of different long-range options that they can depend on. So Braincellmates may be able to play the poke game, especially with Deathwing zoning out enemies with the Lava Burst. So we'll see how these two fare against each other in this next game. Game 2 here, and introducing our teams once more. On the left, we've got Braincellmates. Protoss Rule on Vala, Rift on Muradin, Akari playing Deathwing, Jaeger on Chromie, and Lin Hariz on Brightwing. And to the right in red, we've got Start Slow Then Taper Off. Arlu on Stukov, Zero Day Attack on Thrall, Fenrir on Orphea, OP on Falstad, and Xenochrist on Anubarak. As we get into our first wave, we can check in on our level 1 talents. We've got, once again, for the first time again for Jaeger, that Q quest, a W quest for OP on Falstad. Dishonorable Discharge, very interesting. We've got the E quest, Growing Nightmare for the Orphea, as well as an auto attack Vala. Braincellmates immediately splitting to lane there, perhaps looking for a little bit of an Anubarak Beetle Cheese opportunity, and OP will fly down. That's actually a lot of decent damage here onto the bottom fort tower, and it looks like this 2-2-1 split is allowing Braincellmates a lot of opportunities to get some early pressure onto structures. Akari is able to do a fair bit of anti-siege with their meaty HP pool and decent wave clear in the ranged form. They've opted for Molten Blood at level 1, so they passively regenerate XP, or I'm sorry, HP, as long as they've got enough armor plates. A really fast grab from Braincellmates onto that camp. It's an important macro play to make on Alterac. The armor shred of that camp can allow for some serious pushing power. And it respawns every 90 seconds, so it is a very important pushing option. An early level 4 for Braincellmates. This is a pretty big power spike for Protoss Rule. Looks like Zero Day attack is falling low here. Opie and Zero Day almost taking out Protoss Rule, but Linhari is able to get that phase shift just in time. Another near miss onto Protoss Rule, falling down below 100 HP. So a lot of good pressure onto the auto attack Vala. Not a bad approach when dealing with that Gambit talent. And it looks like at level 4, Thrall is looking for the Frostwolf pack. When complete, that quest will likely pair with Alpha Wolf at level 16. The percent damage on rooted targets. The siege in bot lane is relentless. And Jaeger falls victim to a quick gank by 3. First blood going over to start slow then taper off, and that will likely give them an opportunity to get onto this first objective here. There's Anubarak able to stall things out, but Akari on Deathwing has ample stalling opportunities themselves. Checking in on bot lane, we've got a lot of damage. Already one tower and the gate having been brought down. So the ranged Deathwing tech pick for stalling the objective was not one I was considering. Very far pushed up here in bot lane. We'll see Linhari eats the stun, and that's the excellent follow-up. Very crisp engage from Xenochrist. Then we are right on the heels, able to take care of it. Of course, the early structure experience is in favor of Braincellmates. They've gotten 2 towers here in top and in bot. Start slow, looking to get a little bit of pushing done themselves here in response. Level 7s on both sides. We've got, stuns in onto the Brightwing yet again, and there goes the Fairy Dragon once more. Arlu looking to get some body blocks here, but Akari is going to squeak by just fine. Checking in on top lane. We've got a loop going on to Zero Day, and that's going to be first kill for onto start slow. Braincellmates able to get that. Ooh, Protoss Rule able to vault away to safety. Really well done, knowing the limits of the hero. They've got 50 stacks, so they've already been awarded their first quest reward here. About a half level lead for Braincellmates. And it looks like another kill onto the Brightwing. Protoss Rule clicking away onto Xenochrist, but I don't think they're going to stick around much longer without their healer in range. Both teams having neglected their Null camps in mid lane. So we'll see. Of course, when Thrall went down, most of top fort went down as well. First kill onto the Vala there. That is 1 Gambit stack lost. And on top, another kill. Lots of split fighting here on Alterac Pass. Level 10s on both sides. We've got Heroics online. Rain of Vengeance, Avatar, Bellowing Roar, and Blink Heal for Braincellmates. And we've got Massive Shove, Earthquake, Crushing Jaws, Gust, and Cocoon for start slow. So an even trade, fort for fort. Still a little bit of an XP advantage for Braincellmates. We can see that is largely due to their structure and minion experience advantages. But it is a tight race nonetheless. Both teams doing a good job paying attention to all of their lanes. We've got here and there from Chromie an interesting talent, not one that I'm used to seeing. How's Thrall doing on his level 4 stacks? Not too well. His death in top lane, of course, resetting the stacks on that talent. Even talent tiers, but a favorable position for Braincellmates with their towers helping out. 3 stacks for 0 Day. Feels threatened. That's the jump from Murden. They're going to go down. An excellent kill, but Xenochrist, having eaten the time loop from Chromie, will go down as well. It's a trade tank for tank, and 0 Day is able to get the first channel on the objective. They saw the opportunity to get over there while Deathwing was unable to stall them. There's the Bellowing Roar. Thrall is probably going to go down here, but they're able to run away. Holy cow, Orphea kills 3 of them and completes her level 1 quest. Absolutely massive. Akari falling low here. Do they have enough damage to do the last little bit? Oh, they escape with sub 50 HP. Absolutely incredible. A solid engage there. I was not expecting all of those kills to come out in favor of Start Slow, but a big coup for them. That's going to skyrocket them towards their level 13s. And completing that level 1 quest is a big power spike for Fenrir. They're able to do a lot more damage and slow a lot more with that Dread ability. Here on 13, we've got Stukov going for the rest of their E-build. It Hungers now able to get resets on the Silence Puddle. Midfort definitely not going to last long here. Cocoon falling onto the Vala here. A Silence, and there's... Oh! Protoss Rule able to vault out just in time. Xenochrist falling low here. I think the Soothing Mist from Linharies was able to get the Silence cleansed for just long enough so that Protoss Rule could vault out of there. I thought that was a dead Vala for sure. OP falling low here. Rift, the subject of all of Start Slow's ire. Once again, they're able to get their avatar popped in time. Just scooting out of that Silence Puddle. Level 13s on both sides. We've got Bronzebeard's Rage, Wicked Inferno. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. So at the end of our first objective phase, it's all forts down on the side of Braincellmates. It's going to give Start Slow the green light to get busy on this top boss. And the hero kill experience is really starting to go in their favor. Of course, Braincellmates are pretty confident in assuming that Start Slow was on a boss. They're able to rip through this pretty quickly, but not before the fly from OP. It looks like they are going to secure it in time. Deathwing, of course, permanently unstoppable, is another boon to them. They're looking for a little bit of chase. Akari taking a lot of damage. That was the burrow charge from Xenochrist, so we'll see if there's any counter-engage now. Doesn't look like it. Braincellmates happy to fall back, retreat, and defend their top boss. Bottom boss probably going to get through about 3/4 of that fort, while top boss is able to secure a keep tower. Not too bad, and we've got a healthy wave here. Xenochrist bringing the Beetles as well will give Start Slow the opportunity to get about half of this bottom keep. And a clean disengage from them as well, right as their level 16 talents come online. in time for this next objective. 4 stacks now on Wolfpack for Thrall. They'd love to have that complete as soon as possible to get the CDR that pairs so well with Alpha Wolf at 16. We've also got Epicenter from Xenochrist, amping up the area of effect that Burrow Charge has. So perhaps able to catch Protoss Rule at the edge of a vault with that extra range. All heroics available on both sides. We've got Brightwing up top. Stormbolt lands on to Thrall there. Once again, this poke battle, there's the Thrall engagement. Looks like no follow-up, however. Rift is putting the damage onto Thrall here. A great gust. There's the stun onto 2. Jaeger falling low, but it's Fenrir who's going to be the first to fall. Akari falling low themselves. The objective is captured. Protoss Rule has the move speed. Jaeger getting chased as well, and it looks like a great blink heal from Linhares will get Protoss Rule a little bit more life. Arlu gets the shove onto the Brightwing. No gust available, but Brightwing is able to back. Or phase shift, in fact. Really well played by Protoss Rule and Jaeger there to escape. I definitely assumed we would see either Vala or Brightwing go down there. And we've still got Fenrir coming back from spawn. Rift eating so much damage, down below 500 HP. Of course, Xenochrist does pay for that engagement. Ophi getting looped here, but it's Jaeger who's taking a lot of damage. Still waiting for Fenrir. Another kill onto Thrall. Xenochrist will go down, trading tank for tank once again. And there is the kill onto Thrall, resetting the Wolfpack once again. So 2 kills for 1. A great defense by Braincellmates. Start Slow is going to stick around, trying to get as much done, finish off this bottom keep if they're able. But it looks like not much is going to happen for the other 2 keeps. An excellent defense for Braincellmates also puts them ahead to the Storm Talent tier. It's not a big gap, but it is about a half-level lead, which can make all the difference here. Opie getting aggressive onto the Brightwing, but it looks like they're going to back off. They've got 40 stacks of Dishonorable Discharge now, so they're really starting to ramp up there. 40% bonus damage. As well as cooldown reduction. Interesting. Okay. So we'll trade camps once again. Bosses will be up in the next 30 seconds, or I should say top boss will be. There is complete parity as far as destroyed structures are concerned. But it's not going to be too long for that bot keep, I would expect. Yeah, we're going to see the 5 hero commitment here to bot lane. We'll see if Akari is able to get out. They've got the Cataclysm, and they're down below 500. That's going to seal it. So the 5 hero commitment yields the kill. It will allow Start Slow to finish off the bottom keep. Constant Reaver pressure in bot lane is going to make this next objective spawning on the top side of the map a little bit harder for Braincellmates to deal with, but they've got their Storm Talents ahead of Start Slow. Manticore from Vala, Hardened Shield from Muradin. An excellent adaptation as they've been the target of lots of Start Slow's aggression. On 20 we've got Arrival of a God. OP gets the channel through before Jaeger is able to get that Sandblast in. Speaking of Sandblasts, they're still looking for 2 more shots there. It will increase the number of echoes available to Brightwing. And Protoss Rule is able to just kind of step up and get aggressive here. A cocoon out onto the Vala in the silencing pool. Some great support play will get them out. Zero Day attack pops the EQ, but it's not enough to get the Anubarak out. Under 10 seconds on this objective here. Akari looking to get the channel. 3 seconds will start slow, get the interrupt. It looks like they will, but at what cost? It's going to cost them all 5 heroes here. So, oh, I'm sorry. OP does make it out. Falstad up on the top side. Throwing everything they could at Protoss Rule, but they were able to survive thanks to some excellent support play from the Brightwing. Minories doing an excellent job keeping the most important player in a Vala camp alive. And this is where the outranging of Keep is kind of obnoxious. Protoss Rule will get pushed back here thanks to the wind tunnel from OP, buying a little bit more time for the rest of Start Slow to respawn. Of course, one Keep is not such a bad consolation when you get wiped late game. The objective doing a great job to de-push the other lanes here. But it's not going to end on its own. And the Alterac core mechanic, with its regenerating HP, will mean that just a little bit of progress is made on the mid-keep and top keep here. Stukov's still pretty far away. I'm not sure if Start Slow are going to take this opportunity to set up a push gank. Zero Day eating a lot of damage here. Looks like they're going for a bait, but Braincellmates are playing it safe. Still looking to complete a jump in from Rift. OP gets the barrel roll. An excellent silence. Every single heroic getting popped. Immediate 2 kills here going onto the Brightwing and Vala. Rift falling low here. They're not going to make it out alive. Cocooned Jaeger is likely next. But here and there gets them out alive. What a play by Jaeger. Super well done. OP tanking the keep here, but they're able to do that thanks to the shield offered by their level 7 talent. Or level 4, I believe. So, a second keep going over to Start Slow here. And a stun in onto Jaeger. Xenochrist falling low. OP gets another here and there proc. Excellent. Well played. No... oh, Stukov able to finish off the kill. Okay, so Akari is low. We do have Vala and Brightwing in the next 12 seconds, however. So we'll see if Start Slow are able to finish this off. With Akari dead, it will be tough. Even with a level 20 Vala, it is likely a great gust from OP. That's going to secure it for our game number 2. And it is a 2-0 in favor of the away team. GG and well played. Start Slow doing a great job there, understanding their win condition opportunities with OP's wind tunnel. An absolute massive play. So well done to them, able to finally catch the Vala and Brightwing together. So Brightwing was unable to save the all-important hyper carry. Checking in on our stats and builds. We've got Deathwing top of the damage charts by a large margin. Not what I would have expected. That is likely largely to both Wicked Inferno and Conflagration. When paired together, they are a potent combo. So not too surprising to see it happen. Any other talents stick out to me? Nothing crazy. Engulfing Oblivion from Orphea at level 20, not something that I typically see. Um, Great. Let me see if I can't wrangle an interview here. Oh, thank you for the raid, Peldor. We are actually just about to finish up. We've got the interview coming up here, but it was a 2-0 in favor of start slow, then taper off. And let me get into another lobby so that we can get our interviewee in and available. And it looks like we are going to be joined here by Zero Day Attack. Give me just 1 second. Get over to the interview scene so everyone can hear you. Welcome and GG's. How are you feeling after your domination?
Feeling pretty good. Having our first win in Division A is always good. This way, no, we're not gonna, go winless this season.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it from you guys. Just having played against you a number of times, I know that you are a strong team, but this is another season in which you guys have been promoted. How is it feeling taking on the next division every season? Is it extra challenging? How are you guys kind of adapting and making each ascension work out in your favor, I guess?
It definitely gets tougher every season, especially amongst us. Some of us will doubt ourselves and not think we're supposed to be in that division. But as you've seen by our past divisions, I mean, we've kind of proven everybody wrong season after season that we can keep moving up.
Yep, definitely.
This season, I think it's going to be quite a bit tougher, but we're happy to be here, and hopefully that we can keep improving. Honestly, that's what we're shooting for this season, is just to improve ourselves so we don't expect to win, but we'll take what we can get.
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit about Game 1, the draft. The Hogger went unbanned. I'm interested to hear your thought process on that one. Is that something where you guys weren't sure if it was in Braincellmates' hero pool? Was it something that you guys felt confident dealing with from a counterpick scenario?
Yeah, it's kind of tough for bans, because I mean, there's so many good heroes that both teams play that it's hard to pick and choose your heroes. You gotta just find out what you're okay with playing against, and we just decided that Hogger was one that we'd be okay playing against that game.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Makes a lot of sense. Great. What other? That was also a Sylv, a Noob, Chromie. Yeah, it looked like in the early game, Braincellmates did a pretty good job trading bottom fort for top objective. How much pressure did you guys feel under once that bottom fort went down, having to kind of tend to that lane for the rest of the game? There were a handful of times where I know that Urel or Brightwing had to go back there and deal with it. Was that challenging? Was that fine? How did that feel for you?
I think early game that was a pretty good strategy from us. We kind of realized that trade was going on, but neither team could take the forts very quickly. We ended up racking up a lot of kills down there, which was nice for us. And also, just having forts off the map kind of, I feel, works better for our team.
Okay.
Maybe our play style in general.
Gotcha.
With the map opening up, someone like Chromie can't just sit behind a fort and siege the objective, for instance. They have a harder time positioning. Later game, we did pay for that. We had some push going down there, but they didn't have the type of heroes that could necessarily take advantage of that besides Deathwing. And it didn't end up getting them a severe advantage, I think.
Definitely. Awesome. Yeah, game 1 was pretty close, I would say. But in the end, level 20 Vala kind of goes burr.
Yeah.
Arlu, really well played. Just right-clicking and killing the knoll. I mean, that's all it takes.
Yeah, we walked into objective and I said, let's just kill Hogger. And then I right-clicked him, and then he died from there.
Yep. Yep.
And honestly, that felt like a different game after level 20 when I played Vala.
I
don't
bet.
play Vala that often, to be honest. And I kind of forgot when she gets Farflight. Like, I don't know. It was a different game. Like, I was almost in the fog of war when I was hitting him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And you guys opted for Alterac Pass for Game 2. Is the Deathwing tech pick something that you guys had been able to scout, or did that take you guys off guard as well as me?
Took me off guard there. I wasn't expecting it, and especially that early on. I feel like they could have gotten away with that a lot later on and had a similar effect. I wouldn't have been banning it, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I completely forgot about Deathwing as a hero, and once Akari started doing the like constant stall, I was like, oh yeah, that's why you picked this hero.
Yeah, that paired with the Chromie was kind of annoying to go against for objective, so we kind of either had to take him by surprise with objective or just kill him, you know? we couldn't just go 5v5 on objective and hope to get it. They just had so much poke to be able to stall us out there.
Yeah, they did a great job there. I also thought that they were doing a great job in the early game, kind of pressuring both top and bot, kind of that 2-1-2 setup. What are the comms like for you guys when trying to piece through those sort of laning arrangements, those non-standard laning arrangements? Is that something that is difficult to figure out? There was some early rotations starting with Thrall and top and then to bottom. Is that just happenstance? You know, how'd that all work out?
I think we figured that out as we went along. We already had some discussion about who was going to go against Deathwing. It's sort of a 1-3-1 map in the first place, so I think we were already kind of ready for that. The 2-1-2 split was surprising, but kind of like I said earlier, none of their heroes siege extremely well, except for maybe Vala, but she wasn't left unchecked for too long in the early game, and we were able to pick off kills regardless. So I think that could have gone worse for us. However, I think we handled it pretty calmly, which helped us. We didn't, send 5 to a lane or do something extreme.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought the early game laning arrangements were pretty clean from you guys. Braincellmates was able to get a minion advantage, but the decisive engages, the Anubarak into Orphea, which you guys are, I'm going to say, so well known for. It works every time, right? So it's great to see that working even in this higher division. Is that something that was getting challenging in the mid game there? I know that Brightwing was able to save Vala a handful of times, which cost Anubarak their life. Is that something where you guys are like, it'll be fine when we get to 20, we need wind tunnel, or is that starting to feel like, oh, Braincellmates are kind of outscaling us? How did that mid game feel for you?
I felt like we were pretty dependent on getting our picks mid game because, like I talked about earlier, we couldn't just straight up take objective. They had so much poke, so we relied pretty heavily on getting picks. And then, obviously, once we went to level 20, that really turned around some fights there, and he was able to push mid after we all died on that one of those last objectives there. Mm-hmm. He was able to keep them from getting that keep with wind tunnel. We ended up killing 3 of them, I think, with wind tunnel after that. And so mid game we were definitely relying on that little pick comp there, and after that we were able to just get him with wind tunnel. That definitely helped.
Yeah,
definitely shout outs to Bob, our Falstad player. That last wind tunnel where we basically got 3 kills immediately off of it. That wasn't necessarily something we were going for. I think I heard him call it out in comms, like, I've got wind tunnel, and like he just did it, and we won that fight instantly.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the perfect barrel roll,
right
the perfect barrel roll to set it up too. Like, that was so clean to get a up against the wall, and like being able to get both Brightwing and Vala simultaneously in the silence seemed to make all the difference. Because, you know, between Gloom and the Brightwing spell armor, I was shocked the number of times Protoss Rule escaped, but without any of that, Vala does not have very many hit points, so you guys were able to capitalize really well. All right, I won't keep talking your ear off much longer. Before I let you go celebrate with the team, do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to the team. They did great tonight. Shout out to Bob again. Help for filling in tonight. With Real Big Deal being gone, he did a great job filling in for us. Shout out to the other guys, our team. Braincellmates, they played really well tonight. Both games were close. And of course, shout out to you. Thank you so much for casting us. We always appreciate a caster.
Yeah, happy to. Well, you have an excellent rest of your evening, gentlemen. Take care.
Thank you, you too.
All right, so that's going to do it for our series here. It was 2-0 in favor of Start Slow. Braincellmates are still on the hunt for their first map win of Season 17. But Start Slow, with this domination, get their first series win. Definitely something that I'm sure they are happy to have here in the highest div that they have been placed in. Before I sign off, I want to give some shout-outs of my own. A huge shout-out to all of the artists, musicians, and streamers whose work, or not streamers, I'm sorry, programmers whose work I feature here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions. I've got links to their work down below. You can also stick around for a credit roll at the end of the broadcast. And thank you all for tuning in. These matches are lots of fun to watch and lots of fun to watch with others. So it's great to see all of our NGS community supporting one another. You've all been great. I've been the Sound. Until next time, good luck, have fun, peace, and love.